What's going on, y'all? If y'all can hear me. If anybody can hear me. I don't even know if somebody watching this. Let me see. Oh yeah, it's two people. Well, this is what I wanted to talk about because I was watching TV and I seen this come. This ain't the first time I seen them talking about it. This is probably about I say about the fourth or fifth time I done seen it on TV. And I know, like, what was it, June 1st? They said that the Democrats used like 20 million to some type of outreach for young men voters. But in my mind, they're not coming back. I mean, I think they lost them. I think they lost a lot of people. You can see it even during this last election how many people voted for the Republicans. It was really a landslide. I know they say it was what, a 1% difference or some shit like that, but on my other streams, y'all seen the map. The map was almost red. Almost every county went red. As far as the men goes, I think the men have really just abandoned the party because it's nothing there for men at all. When it comes to, they're so hyper fixated on feminism, they're hyper fixated on illegal immigration, they're hyper fixated on LGBTQ issues, and they have nothing when it comes to men and family. You know, that's your backbone right there. That's your backbone of society. Men, family, household, children, raising a better society with more than just one person. That's what they're pushing. They're pushing singularity. You know what I'm saying? Do it on your own. Survive on your own. You don't need nobody. Matter of fact, while you're doing that, you can smash anybody you want to smash. And if you get pregnant, hey, you can get you an abortion. Men, you don't even have to deal with men. We getting rid of them, so don't worry about them. Don't even worry about them at all. They just in the way. We'll take care of them. There's nothing there for men at all. So it's no wonder that so many men are leaving. I left a long time ago. I know others have left. Some of my friends left before I did, when I was still on the Democratic train. And I thought they was crazy. But once I saw the light and I was like, nah, I really understand now. It took me a while, but I totally understand. The Democratic Party is really anti-American, anti-family, anti-man, anti-tradition, anti, some would even say Christian, anti-morals, all of that. Anything that would really help our society and help our people. And when I say people, I'm not just saying black people, but Americans. I don't think they're for it. They sticking their nose in everybody's business. You got illegal immigrants coming over here causing issues, and they want them to still have due process. You just had a terrorist attack the other day in Colorado. I mean, they don't care. Anything that Trump says or Trump tries to push forward, they make it seem as if he's coming after us. He hates America. They say he's wrecking the economy. That's a lie. Like I said before, when the first time around, the very, very first time around when I didn't vote for Trump, I can remember how the economy was going. And I was thinking to myself, bro, they just lied to us. Everything that they said about this man is a lie. I fell for it. And I didn't, I'm going to say, not even halfway through, man, a couple of months in, I was like, I'm out. I started being on Trump within a few months in my head. Probably not on paper yet, but in my head, I was like, yeah, I'm not saying like I'm just hardcore Trump. Everything he's saying is true. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that some of the stuff that he's saying, it didn't came to be true. It's been things that I can remember. He was on the world stage I want to say I can't think of that conference he was at, and all of those other countries was laughing at him when he was up there. He said something about, I think it was the economy. I can't remember exactly what it was, which turned out to be true. So it's been a couple of things that he said that is actually true, but they never going to give him credit, especially when it comes to this whole thing about this auto pen situation with Joe Biden. They trying to make it seem as if they're just making this up. When we know all of these things now that these politicians come out and say isn't true, over time it turns out to be very, very so much true. They could say Joe Biden was in his right mind. You hear all of these pundits, these Democratic pundits, or people who used to work for Joe Biden. They come out and say, "Oh no, 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 he was in his right mind. I don't buy any of this. This is just something coming from the Republicans, just making it up because they don't like Joe Biden." Bull crap. I guarantee you, this is probably going to die down. It's probably going to go away. It's not going to gain as much traction as some people will hope. But in about 10, 15 years, some type of report or somebody's going to come forward like they always do from the administration, and they're going to prove all of this right. They're going to say that, no, they were actually telling the truth. I was there. Joe Biden wasn't the one signing these documents. He was not in his right mind. He didn't know any of this stuff was going on. And this auto pen was just writing away, signing pardons and all kind of shit. It was going on. But like I was saying, they've lost a lot of people. They're going to continue to lose us. And I had seen a couple of clips and a couple of different things that I just wanted to kind of go over. I hadn't watched this particular clip. I had another clip. I think I'm going to pull that back up after this one if this one doesn't pan out like I thought it would. But I'm going to play it. Let me know if y'all can hear it. You know what? I don't even see it. I don't see anything happening over here on my. Wait a minute. This be killing me. Okay. I don't even know if y'all can hear it.
Yeah. Conversations about masculinity, about how masculinity is evolving. I get these texts from my dad and WhatsApp groups all the time about how what we are eating is reducing masculinity. I'm like, Dad, I promise it's not because I ate avocados, but that you're right. So there is an.
But that's the bullshit because he don't even know. Because yes, it is. Some of the things that we are eating are affecting men's testosterone. You can look this up. You can go to your urologist and go get these things checked. It's true. Our diets are actually affecting our testosterone levels.
It's an environment where conversations are happening that Democrats are going to have to penetrate. But when we get there, we're going to have a different conversation. And some of these conversations are complicated, right? This is what we talk about, reclaiming values like masculinity and spirituality. What does masculinity look like in a Democratic Party, right? What is the role of masculinity if it's not all toxic?
But it's not. See, that's the problem. So I think you just jumped onto a false narrative. It's not about what masculinity is in a political party. It's what's masculinity in our culture.
In society, that's right.
What does it mean for a young man to grow into a father, to grow into a productive member of our community? So this whole bro culture BS is this psychological warp game with young men telling them that they got to, have a particular attitude about women. They got to look at situations, through this lens where, Josh Hawley and others, hey, we're going to shine some light on our groin and we're going to become more men? What the hell are we talking about here?
One thing I found interesting in our...
That's these old sissified dudes speaking again. Like, no. Men need to go back to being men. That's the issue. They want men to be so weak and docile when it comes to women. Bro, I can remember stuff like this would never happen now. I can remember when I was a kid, and I know my dad, I bet you if I told him he wouldn't remember, but we was in my front yard, and my mom's friends, her two sons were like, I'm gonna say 5 or 6 years older than me, and they was in our front yard, and they had boxing gloves or whatever, and they was like boxing. You know what I'm saying? My dad was out there watching, and then all of a sudden I was like, let me try it. Maybe I was 8, 9, 10, something. I'm gonna say 10, and he was kind of like smiling, like, really? You finna get out there? I was like, yeah. I didn't even know. I just wanted to be a tough kid, you know what I'm saying? I got out there, and man, he beat the brakes off of me, bro. I can remember how bad he beat the brakes off of me because I was just dizzy and just looking around. You know, I can remember me being real woozy. And shit, once I came to, my daddy was laughing. He didn't baby me. He wasn't like, oh, you okay? You okay? He just kind of laughed and was like, man, you'll be all right. And then after I took that L, I was mad, but at the same time, I was thinking to myself, yeah, I'll be all right. I'll be all right. And that's the kind of stuff as a man, you get over it. You start to realize, no, man, this is just what men do. We get into combat, we argue, we fuss with each other, we fight with each other. Now they've made that stuff seem as if it's toxic. Oh man, y'all fighting and y'all tussling and yes, that's what men do. And then we usually come to some type of resolution and say, hey, we was just having mutual combat, or we was just having a friendly game of such and such. And that's just what it is. But now all of these sissified guys, they make you feel like, no, you shouldn't act this way. And women wouldn't want you to be like this. And you're scaring the women. Man, look, I don't care about that. I'm not trying to live my life to please some woman. I'm not trying to live my life to make women feel as if they're inferior. Nobody's saying that type of stuff. We just saying that these are the reasons that men aren't men anymore, because society doesn't want men to be men anymore. They actually want men to be women, and they want women to be men. And now that you got women acting like men, the women don't like it. They keep complaining about all the stuff that they have to do that's like men. They got to take care of the house. Oh, I'm tired of doing all that. I'm tired of paying all of it. Well, this is what y'all wanted to do. Y'all wanted to be equal to men. Now y'all can be equal to men. Just like the whole Cardi B situation. She don't want to have to deal with Offset asking for spousal support. Well, you wanted to be a man, didn't you? This is what happens when you make more money and you're a man and you get a divorce. The party that doesn't have the same amount of money as you, they're probably going to want spousal support. They're probably going to want to live the same type of lifestyle that they was living before. That's just what it is. You may end up having to pay child support sometime. See, women, they want the good that comes with being a man, but they don't want the bad that comes with being a man. They don't want to have to go to war and fight and try to kill somebody. They don't want to have to deal with stuff like that.
In our research, was we asked young men, what does it mean to be a man? Number one thing was protecting your family. Number two thing was honesty.
That's toxic.
So this is a complicated group. There's 25 million young men. I wouldn't put them all in a box. But there are young men.
So they just voted for someone who is, in terms of protecting the family, is going to break up families. And in terms of being honest.
Really? You see the bullshit? Trump and the Republicans want to break up families when all they do is talk about keeping families together. They talk about getting rid of abortion. Only party that I see that wants to break up families is the Democratic Party. They want you to be a lesbian. That's not producing a family. They want you to be gay. That's not producing a family. They want you to have abortions. That's not producing a family. They want you to be independent of each other. That's not conducive to being a family. They don't promote families. You never see the Democrats talking about we need to have more babies, and because they know if they start saying that, other women, LGBTQ, they're gonna turn on them. They're gonna turn on them. They promote degeneracy. They promote in the black community. They throw Glorilla and Megan Thee Stallion out in front of you. Now you got Megan Thee Stallion. She done lied on another black man, and they got these people out front and center. They don't really care. We know this. But they want us to believe that they're the party of the people. There's no wonder that a lot of people are just abandoning this party because it's not conducive to anything. You're not going to get anything out of this party. I'm not saying that the Republicans are so much better than the Democrats. We're just saying that they have gone so far off the deep end that nobody wants to be a part of them anymore. Period.
Honest? Hello? We're talking about Donald Trump here.
That's my point. There are young men who voted for Kamala Harris who have concerns about feminism. And there are young men who voted for Donald Trump who support abortion rights. This is this true swing group. 7 million of them voted for Joe Biden in 2020. They can go back, but we have to speak to them and realize that they're not fitting into these boxes that we're used to.
Right.
So after the election, you had a briefing, Young Men's Research Initiative, and your researcher said two things that I've been thinking about a lot. One is that people will say, like, well, who listens to 3 hours of Joe Rogan? People who stock groceries, people who drive trucks, like it becomes a parasocial relationship. But also this idea that Democrats are so focused on the policy and the messaging, and that is one piece of things, and that is for the party to contend with. But what your researcher said is so long as whatever that policy and whatever that message is being filtered through the kaleidoscope of the media that folks are consuming, not just young men, right? Just this powerful media force. They will find a way to say, well, that message from Democrats isn't for you. That policy from Democrats isn't for you. So there's also, from an infrastructure perspective in the progressive space, someone has to deal with the kaleidoscope, either by penetrating the kaleidoscope or by saying, here's some alternate forms of media where, it's fun and it's entertaining and we talk about culture and we don't jam the vegetables into your mouth. We understand you're a full person with a full life. And we can talk to you that way.
There goes the avocado.
Let's talk about the investment problem.
It's a fruit.
If you go to the Democratic Party's website right now, they have a page on who we serve, and it lists 16 different groups. It says women, seniors, rural Americans. One group that's not mentioned is men. And I don't think that Democratic leaders are saying...
That's not a coincidence. That's not a coincidence. They know not to put that on there. I'm telling you, so many people would abandon them if they started publicly rooting for men. That's why they only put out $20 million to try to get men back. That ain't shit. That's nothing. They're not serious about it because they don't want to lose a certain portion of their voters. They willing to die on that sword, just blowing everything else up. They don't really care. You think they really want men in their party? No, it's already enough women that's in positions of power on the Democratic side. They don't even want that. Look at people like AOC. If men started challenging their positions, they would have a fit. They wouldn't even be talking about policy no more. They would just start attacking people in their own party. I promise you, that party would implode if people start having men in positions of power and people start saying, oh, yeah, he needs to be in leadership over so-and-so. They would get so mad. Well, I've been here. Y'all just want him up here because he's a man. Yeah, exactly. We just want him up there because he's a man. He's not emotional like you are. They are actually leading people astray. Look, I hate to tell you, women cannot lead some of these parties. Women shouldn't be leaders like this because they make bad decisions. They move emotionally. How many times have men said this? Men move more logically. Sometimes we understand you're going to have to cut some of the fat. Sometimes we understand that some people just going to have to fall to the wayside. Sometimes we understand, yeah, we're going to lose a few people. But that's okay because we have a bigger goal in mind that's going to help out the collective overall in the end. But women, no, we don't want to lose anybody. We want to save everybody. And men, we know that's not possible. That's not logical. That's very irrational. If it's 1,000 people and we go to war and a woman is leading, she going to want everybody to come home safe. Even men, if we go out there and fight and it's 1,000 of us, we know everybody ain't coming home. We didn't already made it up in our mind. We already done reconciled with the fact that it may be me. I may be the one that's not coming home, but I got to go out here and fight. We just think more logical than they do.
Saying we are not for men, but the message is getting across. If you look at dollars spent, Donald Trump in this campaign outspent Dems 4-1 in terms of online ads targeting young men, 10-1 in swing states. So there's clearly an investment problem. And then we need to start thinking about these distribution channels. How do we actually get through the kaleidoscope and get those messages that we want to young men?
A part of my concern, though, is not just that the Democratic, what you describe as like the Democratic message is not for these men. It's that far too often it feels like Democrats are saying those men are not for us, right? If they don't, the partisan, the progressive Puritanism, right? I tell people all the time, in my household, my father is the head of household, and my mother agreed with that, right? That there's not, that in a culture that has...
Don't you know people would lose their minds these days and age if people lived like that, like they used to? Where the dad, the man was the head of the household and the woman just basically fell in line? They would frown upon, they would call that woman a pick-me. Think about it. Why you think you don't see a lot of women online that's like homemakers? Even the ones that are homemakers, go look at the comments. It's women on there to be bashing them. They laugh at them. Is this all you do? You're a slave. You just cook for your family and clean up? Just dismissing the fact that that woman is happy. She's cleaning up, taking care of her kids, showing you what she does on a daily basis, happy, no worries. Husband's at work, comes home, puts food on the table, lights on, take care of the kids, go to sleep, get up, do it all over again. She's going on trips. They having family vacations. And she's getting bad comments. Women are telling her she's stupid. That's the world we living in. This is all because this is Democratic bullshit, liberal bullshit. But they just don't get it.
Raised men to believe that men are head of household. When they have questions about a woman as president, it doesn't mean that they're no longer our voter. It means we have to engage them in a tough conversation about why gender roles are evolving, why our country is evolving. It's the same thing Barack Obama did in 2008. He didn't tell every white person that had bias, you're not my voter. He engaged them in a conversation about how his grandmother, the person he loved the most, held bias too. And that's what Democrats are not doing. We are rejecting these men who have opinions that are different than us, who don't hold our progressive Puritanism, and we're telling them that they're no longer our voter. We don't want you here if you don't lead with your pronouns. We don't want you here if you don't.
You finna get the pushback from the black woman.
As opposed to
look at
our
her.
country is evolving. There's a role for you in it, and this is what it's going to look like.
One other thing that Obama did.
Oh, go ahead. No, yeah, please.
Was he showed up everywhere. I remember seeing Obama at World Wrestling events, and he would talk to anyone, and he had that approach. The other thing is, I think we need to do a better job of listening to what is going on online and what young men are saying. This is a rapidly changing landscape. The world in 2026 or 2028 could look very different, and the first-time voters, they're in high school right now. So we need to be prepared. It's not just the battle we're fighting right now. It's keeping our eye on what's going on so we understand what's coming.
You know what, too? This is what they also don't realize, because when most people are younger, you're usually more liberal. You're usually more open to things. You're usually more, all of the liberal ideas, you go for those because those are the ones that make you happy. You want to feel like you're welcoming to everybody. But as you get older, especially men, like I said, you become more logical and you understand that's not the right way to go. That's not going to work. It sounds good, but that's not going to work. And you see more young people are actually being more conservative now in their thinking. That to me, that should ring a bell with the Democrats, but it doesn't. They still want to push their same ideology on people. No, that's not working. You see all of these men who, let's be honest, they trying to court women, they trying to talk to women, and it's a totally different landscape than what it used to be. Women are out here acting like men, they laughing at these guys, rejecting them, treating them crazy. And you wonder why the dudes are like, man, what the hell is going on? Y'all want me to be all nice and be docile? Well, this doesn't feel right to me on the inside because I'm a man. I feel like being aggressive. I feel like being assertive. But if I can't be assertive, or if I am being assertive, then I'm toxic. That doesn't feel right to me. But as a woman, you can be aggressive and be assertive, and it's just your lane. You're just being a woman. You're just expressing yourself. I've seen women go up to men and just try to grab their dick. Everybody just laughed. Everybody thought it was funny. I didn't mean to do that. Everybody thought it was funny. But if Donald Trump says grab him on the pussy, which is just like he said, locker room talk, because dudes, when we get by ourselves, we get with each other. That's how we talk. We say, look, man, bro, she got a fat ass. Man, I wish I could get some of that. But if y'all hear it, then it's toxic. Men have been talking like that since the beginning of time. Y'all just happen to catch him on tape saying it.
I think this head of household piece that you hit on and you and Aaron are dovetailing, I really think that there is something there. Y'all remember the weekend before the election, Governor Moore of Maryland came on our show and he talked about, men need to stand up for their households. He said, and that is how he framed it. He framed it as, as a man, if you're the head of your household, like these are the things, that I'm talking to men about in this election. And what I've heard is that some voters have felt that maybe the language that was used to speak about men and in this election was a little condescending. It's like, let's talk to the men, and maybe we all need to rethink it. But I really think that when I talk to folks and they're like, oh, well, people just didn't want to vote for a woman, what you're saying is right, Terrence. In a culture where men have been, young men and boys are raised to be the head of their household, and they're saying, well, I don't know if a woman can be president, we can't write that off. We need to engage it. It is painful, though, because it's just like your mama raised you, but you don't think your mama been telling you what to do your whole life, but now you don't want a woman running the country? It's painful.
Yeah. That's what they don't get. They was very dismissive of the fact that Barack Obama got up there and told all the black men that don't make me go get Michelle. Nigga, what? You finna go get Michelle? He gonna go get a woman on us. And then they keep saying, well, y'all didn't want to vote because it's a black woman. For one, it wasn't a black woman. Two, no, she wasn't even a good candidate. Three, no, I didn't want to vote for no damn woman. Hang it up. Talking about it's painful. Well, you got a mama. Why won't you vote for a woman? She used to take care of you. That's the bullshit games that they try to run on us. What was they saying? When a dude, especially black men, speak out about black women, well, you got a black mama. What are you saying? You got daughters, an auntie, black aunties? How can you say this stuff? Okay, so when y'all talk about black men, y'all got a black daddy. Y'all got uncles. Y'all got nephews. Why you can't talk about them? Why is you talking about men like this? They're going to have to get over that shit.
Painful, but you got to have those conversations, is what I'm hearing.
That's right, and these are going to be painful conversations, but there's a way to hold our progressive values, right? Hold our progressive values and message them through these types of lenses. Look, as the head of my household, it is incumbent upon me to protect my family from a government that tells my wife or daughter who they can and cannot be. If God grants everyone freedom of choice, then why should government grant my daughter any less than that? That is a different lens. That's a religious lens, a masculine lens for the exact same progressive values. We can do both.
That's the funny part about it. Like, dude, nobody cares. Go ahead. Run. Go ahead. Have your daughter run for president. That don't mean that I got to vote for her. That's the bullshit. Who says I got to vote for her? You can't make me vote for her. Go right ahead. Enjoy. Have a field day. Have a blast with it. You're not finna make me vote for no damn woman. I don't care if it's your daughter or whoever. I don't care. Yeah, they said that about black women because they saw that their mother wasn't. Yeah. That's right. Bro. These people, they something else. Men are not coming back to the Democratic Party. The ones who've left, they left for good reason. And they can be dismissive or try to make it seem, oh, they just want to be a part of some group. They're going to get a MAGA hat. They're going to get a little uniform. It's going to make them feel like men. That ain't it either. And that's dismissive. That's really an insult. Because y'all think that most guys, we just dumb and we just want to rule over women, so we join Trump so we can rule over women. No, well, Trump is actually displaying a lot of masculine qualities that a lot of men like to see. Whether y'all think so or not. Whether you like him or not. Hold on, what did I just do? Yeah, whether y'all like him or not, whether you think so or not. Did I just make it too small? What did I just do? Okay, I'm not gonna mess with it no more. Yes. Men are gone. Men are done. Nobody wants to sit around and get lambasted because you're a man in the Democratic Party. They openly disregard anything that men have to say. They openly just belittle men in that party. Openly. They push everything women. What about the family? What about men being in the household? What about raising children? What about all of that type of stuff? Do they even care about that? I don't think they do. They'll throw up an ad on TV about abortion, about women's rights. They'll never say anything about men. It's went on so long that they kind of forgot that they don't even talk about men. And it's biting them in the ass. It's not just white men, it's black men, it's Latino men, Asian men. And then I'll say this again. Women only get the rights that men allow them to have. Because don't be fooled to think that if men really wanted to, we could take all of this shit away from them. Because you could go anywhere else in the world, especially to some of these Islamic countries, and most of this shit women wouldn't even think about doing. Hell, they even want to go to some of those countries and try to change those laws. Don't be stupid. Y'all going over there thinking you're going to pull that same shit that you pulling over here? You won't be coming back. Because like I say, everything that women get in this country is really just because men have afforded them that. There's nothing that they've done to just win over all of these rights and stuff. Men just was like, okay, we got a nice thing going here. We can afford to give women a little bit more leeway. But now it's went too far. You even have some men that's openly talking about repealing women's right to vote. Now you got a lot of people agreeing with it. I done heard that so many times. And the more and more I heard, I actually started to agree with it my damn self. I feel like, yeah, y'all can be a part of the society. You can go to work and do what you want to do. But y'all shouldn't be out here voting. Because y'all have no clue. The overall majority of some of these women have no clue what in the hell that they be voting for. Y'all sat up here and voted emotionally. Y'all need to go out and vote for a black woman. What was her policies? What did she stand for? What was she going to do? Ah, you just hate women. Y'all just, I'm so tired of y'all, man. Y'all just hate women. Get the fuck out of here. Even when it comes to men, we say, well, what is he going to do? Hold on, the dude lied. He said this, now he's saying that. We realized that was BS when Barack Obama got in there, especially most black men. We need to vote for Barack because he's black. Then he got in there, and then they run this whole game. Well, he could only do what they allowed him to do. I don't want to hear that shit. You see all these other people get in there. Trump, if it was an Asian president who got in there, if it was an Arab president who got in there, a Muslim president who got in there, for whatever reason, I guarantee you they would have done something for their people. Look at Ilhan Omar. As much as I hate Ilhan Omar, she always talking about Somali this, Somali that, Somali people, Somali people, Somali people, Somali people. And she's a damn U.S. Congresswoman. So I don't really want to hear it. There's nothing that you could tell me to sway my mind when it comes to that. I bought into that, got off of it, don't want to get back on it, don't want to do identity politics ever again. Ever again. You're not finna tell me somebody is racist and they hate black people, don't vote for them. Okay, this is a black person, let's vote for him. No, I don't want to do that either. Well, he's going to be the first this and the first that. I don't care. They're going to put a little piggy at president. They're running them for president. We need to vote for the pig. We ain't never had a pig for president. Let's do it, everybody. Let's come together. Vote for the pig. And people will be like, I'm voting for the pig, man, because, the pig, we've never had a pig president. I think he could do some good things. That's a damn fool. Let's vote for the black woman. She got up there and faked it up. She putting greens in the hot tub. What did she say? She listened to Tupac in college. Tupac was like 12 years old when she was in college. Women. Oh, that's a sister. Ski week, whatever the fuck they be doing. Ah, all the little. Come on, man. Y'all voting for somebody because they was in a sorority? Y'all voting for somebody because you think that they're black? No wonder black people get led astray. No wonder we fall for anything. And then we up here hollering reparations, reparations, reparations. You're not finna get reparations. Not with this kind of bullshit. That's why so many people that's stuck in their mindsets. Because they waiting on one thing, or they hoping that somebody black is gonna save them and sprinkle them with a bunch of money. It's not gonna happen. Real change don't come from sitting back waiting on somebody to do something for you. Real change comes when you get up off your ass and you go do something for yourself. I had to learn that the hard way. Waiting on somebody to do something for you is never gonna happen. I gotta go find that quote from Malcolm X where he said, if you waiting on somebody in a position of power to do something for you, you're gonna be waiting a long time. What he really meant is they ain't never gonna do it. You just gonna be waiting. You're gonna be sitting there with the stupid face because he's not gonna do it for you. Why would I do something for you when I can do something for myself? I'm worried about me first. But see, the liberal ideology and the mentality has made you think, oh, trying to do something for yourself, that's bad. It's not bad. That's good. Do something for yourself, then you can help somebody else. How you gonna help somebody else? You can't even help yourself. Sitting up here giving stuff to illegal immigrants, letting them get housing, food vouchers, cars, jobs from you. And then when you get up there and ask for something, we don't have the funds. We need to get something passed. We got to get a certain amount of congressmen and senators to come together. Well, how are these other people getting all of this stuff? They just got it. Nobody cares. And that goes back to my point. Men, we see stuff like that, and we just like, I can't be a part of that. It's not doing nothing for me. It's not doing nothing for my family. I'm trying to have kids, a family, a house. I'm trying to raise good people. I'm trying to better my society. I'm trying to better my country. And I can't do that if all y'all promoting is LGBTQ, abortions, stuff for other people in other countries. Every time we hear these people talk about something, they want to do something for somebody else. Never for the American people. They want to do something for all of these other people except for us. Y'all want men to get behind that and keep being behind that? So you just want us to walk off the cliff. Men ain't stupid like that. The funny thing is, we're going to have to drag a lot of these stupid people back to our side eventually. Kicking and screaming. That's what's funny. We're going to have to drag these people physically back to our side, kicking and screaming, because they just don't get it. When they finally wisen up, then they'll say, oh, y'all was right. You know what? That made a lot of sense. Why you take your comments down, Tim? You ain't got to delete your comments, bro. Keep your stuff up there, man. Don't worry about it. Let me give y'all some of these statistics. These, it says shifting party identification. In 2016, 51% of young men 18 to 29 identified with or leaned towards the Democratic Party. By 2023, this dropped to 39%, a 12-point decline. In 2020, Democrats held a 22-point advantage among young men, 42% Democrat, 20% Republican. By 2024, this narrowed to a 3-point edge, 32% Democrat, 29% Republican. That's just a trend over time. That's why I say this is one of those things that's like a snowball effect. It's just slowly rolling, getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and then boom, it's gonna hit them in the face. And I could see the snowball effect. That's why I said some of my friends, they were already flipping over to the other side. Then I flipped. Then I got my little cousins, and I heard, my little cousins, they probably like 22. Even though I lost one of them. I heard them talking about Trump, which I couldn't believe it because I never even talked to him about politics. But like I said, most people in that age, you would think they'd be saying Kamala Harris, the Democrats. They was talking about Trump. They don't even like the way society is. That stuff ain't a coincidence to me. I think everybody with a little bit of common sense can see and understand what's going on. Tim says Democrats has lost their hold on young men of all races. Men 18 to 45 not beholden to the Democratic Party just because our parents voted for them. Exactly. That was a lot of our issues. Well, we just voting for them because I'm black. My parents voted for them. They always said, you better not ever go in there and vote Republican. Vote Democrat. And I did that for a while. Never really paid attention to anything. Even if I did, I was just, as a black person, you felt that urge like, man, I can't go in here and vote no Republican. If I ever do that, man, my people would disown me. Even though they wouldn't do that. But, in the back of your mind, that's how you felt like, man, they gonna disown me. But now, I just tell them, I'm not voting for no damn Democrats. And my parents, even my dad, they can't believe it. But, we still good. I kind of feel like it's to the point for them now that they just not going to change their mind. They too far deep into it. They could, but they're still on this whole, well, Trump said this and I don't like the way he talks like that. They'll rationalize anything in their mind just to not vote Republican. Anything. Oh, he said something bad, or, he was talking about this, or I heard he was going to take away health care. He's going to ruin my plan. My 401k is down. Now, when the 401ks go back up, they're not going to talk about it. I know they're not going to talk about it. They're going to act like it didn't happen. Because the first time he was in there, the 401ks went up. Mine definitely did. And my daddy said his went up. Then he kind of just quit talking about it. I was like, okay. Another statistics, it says the gender gap widening. Young women, 18 to 29, supported Harris by an 18-point margin, while young men backed Trump by 2 points, showing a growing political divide. In 2024, Biden's lead among young women was plus 33, but only plus 6 among young men, down from plus 26 in 2020. So he lost 20%. That's a lot of damn people. Keep in mind, some people just said, I'm not even going to vote. I'm not even going to support either side. So you had some people who just didn't get involved, and the ones who did get involved, it dramatically dropped. Tim says, my mother had flipped Republican based on her religious beliefs, but my father, her siblings, and all her friends put peer pressure on her to flip back to Democrat. I believe it. She probably kept talking about it. It was like, girl, you don't need to do that. Why? What's wrong with you? I wouldn't do that. Or they just kept making little jokes. You know how black people do. We get in these settings and we just joke. We try to joke you out of something. We try to berate you out of something. I can remember my uncle. My uncle didn't give a shit. He was a damn Republican. We used to make little jokes around the table when he come down for holidays. He just kind of giggled and chuckled, and he went in there and voted Republican. He didn't give a damn. And I used to be against him, you know. And now I'm thinking about, I'm like, bro, he was right about a lot of stuff all along. And now I really turned into him because, now I'm like, I don't give a shit. I try not to be so combative with a lot of these people in my family. If they start talking about it, I kind of just ignore them, kind of like he used to, just kind of blow it off. But you're not going to shame me to do what you want me to do. And I'm not saying that these parties are our saviors. I'm not saying if you go vote Republican now, your life is finna dramatically change. I think it could get better if you stop voting one way. I really do, especially for black people. I really believe that party has harmed our people to the point where we have no sense of family. We've lost our morals. We lost our culture. Our culture used to be rich with people who were intellects, musicians, artists, all of this stuff. Now our culture is like ghetto, fighting in the streets, being argumentative, videos online, us tearing up the store, girls fighting, shootings, gangs, all of this stupid shit, bro. You say, I think half of black people need to be independent or non-Democrat. I agree with that. You say, Charles, I think he's asking me, you don't feel odd voting for a party and not a person or a particular policy? No, I vote for the policy. I'm just saying, like, that comes with it. Like, Trump, I like some of the stuff that Trump is saying, but I like the policies as well. I definitely like some of the policies. One of the main things for me was the whole immigration issue. I love that. I was down for that. I think immigration hurts black people, especially. Big Daddy Sports Pride says, what party do you support? I support the majority of the Republican Party. That's what I support. I support the policies and all. I'm not a supporter of the Democrats at all. I don't like anything that they stand for. I don't like appreciate it, Big Daddy. I don't like anything that they stand for. Tim says Democrats have zero policy that benefits black men. Not only just black men, Tim, but men in general. Like I was saying, they don't support men at all. Everything is just to wreck or tear down anything that men are trying to do. Everything that men are trying to do, we just toxic. We just toxic. And if y'all watching this, man, make sure y'all hit that like button, man, for me. If y'all new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. I really would appreciate that. Oh yeah, me too. I'm so happy he closed the border. I'm so happy they shut that down. Remember the Democrats was going down there trying to see what's going on? Then when Doge did they audit, they all at the damn, what was the shit? The Department of Education. And that guy was standing there, and I was laughing when Maxine said, "What is your name?" Hold on, let me see if I can find it. She said, "What is your name?" He said, "I already told you." She said, "Give me your badge." He said, "No." She said, "What?" "No." Oh, man. Don't you do this to me. I know it's in here. There you go. She said, "Give me your badge." "Do what?" He said, "No." "Do what?" Oh, shit. Here you go. Y'all, hold on real quick. I got to run to the bathroom. I'm going to play it. It may play again.
Look them in the eye. Come on, hold your face up. Let them see you. This is him. Look at it. What's your name? Tell us your name. Give me that ID again. So what?
I showed you the ID.
You do what?
I showed you the
Could
ID.
you let me see the ID again? Huh?
No.
No? Will someone else ask him for the ID? Will you ask him for it? He won't let me see it again. You didn't see it. You didn't see it. They didn't see it. Look them in the eye. Come on, hold your face up. Look at him. Let them see you. This is him. Look at it. What's your name? Tell us your name. Give me that ID again.
The ID I showed it to you.
So what?
I showed you the ID.
You do what?
I showed you the
Could
ID.
you let me see the ID again? Huh?
No.
No? Will someone else ask him for the ID? Will you ask him for it? He won't let me see it again. You didn't see it. You didn't see it. They didn't see it. Look them in the eye. Come on, hold your face.
She said, "Come on." I think somebody's had subscribed or something. Whenever I walked away, I heard the little noise. Whoever that was, I appreciate you. She said, "Do what?" "Look me in my eyes." That's what I'm talking about, man. Nobody don't give a damn about these Democrats, bro. Where was I at, though? I was finna show y'all something. Okay. Another clip. "Do what?" He said, "No." Oh, before I go to that, this is the lady. I gotta find that clip, bro. They put her out front and center. Not front and center, but this is a part of the $20 million to try to get an outreach to young men. Some lady named Olivia Juliana. She was on a show with some guy, and they was saying a bunch of BS. And I was reading the comments. Yes, she has, you're right, Big Daddy. She got to pay a $68,000 fine after a FEC probe. Since you said that, let me go ahead and read that. I'm pretty sure I can pull it up real quick and catch a quick article about it. One is this talking about it. Let's see.
To accept a dishonorable human being, someone who has been convicted of 34 felonies.
Oh, my
The
God.
basic point. People don't like to talk about racism, but the fact of the matter is the majority of his votes are going to come from whites. And
Shut the fuck up. They did not come from a majority of whites. It was a multitude of people voted for him. Did you see how many Latinos voted for Trump? That lady's a fucking nut, bro. I wonder, is there an article? Found guilty, ordered to pay. Okay. The campaign of Progressive California Rep. Maxine Waters has agreed to pay a $68,000 fine after an investigation revealed that it broke many election regulations. The Federal Election Commission, FEC, stated in a batch of documents that the longtime House lawmakers' 2020 campaign group, Citizens for Waters, violated many campaign finance regulations. The FEC accused Citizens for Waters of failing to accurately report receipts and disbursements in calendar year 2020, knowingly accepting excessive contributions, and making prohibited cash disbursements. According to one document that appears to be a legally binding agreement that allows both parties to avoid court, Waters' committee agreed to pay the civil fine as well as send its treasurer to a commission-sponsored training program for political committees within 1 year of the effective date of this agreement. Respondents shall submit evidence of the required registration and attendance at such event to the commission, the document said. According to the inquiry, Citizens for Waters took inappropriate campaign contributions from seven persons totaling $19,000 in 2019 and 2020. Even though the maximum allowed individual contribution is $2,800. So they just went totally overboard. The committee offloaded, and just think about, if they went over, what did she do with that damn money? Funneled it somewhere else. This is this type of stuff that Doge was looking into. This is the type of stuff that she was running all out, and they trying to stop Doge from looking at this and looking at this. The type of bullshit that they had going on. In 20 years, the only jobs the majority of black women going to be able to get are nursing home jobs and home nursing care, because that's the number one job most people don't want to do. Exactly. All of these jobs that they have right now is going to go to the wayside ever since AI has come into play now. AI is taking over so many jobs, and a lot of these jobs are jobs that women do, especially these office type jobs, sitting behind a computer, doing some type of calculation. If you're doing some type of calculation, you can forget it. They're not going to need you to type nothing up. None of this stuff. Even some of these news anchors on TV are going to lose these jobs to AI. They are actually having AIs that are actually reporting breaking news. And you can kind of tell right now that it's an AI individual. But in the future, you're not going to be able to tell. It's going to look like a regular, everyday woman, and she's just going to pop on there, and it's going to be an AI, and she's just going to report the news. Oh, such and such just happened. It was just a terrorist attack, blah, blah, blah. That's what you're going to be getting. The committee offloaded those excessive donations, albeit in an untimely fashion, the document said. Waters' campaign committee also made 4 prohibited cash disbursements that were each in excess of $100, totaling $7,000, the FEC said. The campaign committee contends that it retained legal counsel to provide advice and guidance to the treasurer and implemented procedures to ensure the disbursements comply with the requirements of the act. That's all I'm going to read on that. Let me get back to the... So, yeah. She messed up. She got to pay $68,000. And I don't care. So let's check this clip out real quick. Damn, I didn't know I was on here this long.
This. And the $20 million plan that they have is they want to go after young men. They realize that President Trump won this last election because of his outreach to young men who are so lost in this country and looking for direction. And
this video is going to go into some more. I'm going to probably end up stopping it, but this is April Chapman. I think she's going to have a little bit of commentary. I might even play some of that, but her name is April Chapman on YouTube. She has 109,000 subscribers. If y'all want to, go ahead and subscribe to her channel. Check it out.
And also the different platforms that he used
What's
to
up,
get
Dark
his
Kent?
messaging out there. Brian, I don't really think they care about young men. I just think they realize they lost that vote, and so they need to try to buy it, basically, in the next election if they want to win again. But then that speaks exactly to what the problem is, which is they still don't understand why they lost. They still don't get it.
Well, they knew men were involved in losing,
Right,
so they got
okay.
that part of it. But they care for men like a scientist cares for whatever's in the petri dish when they're looking through the microscope. Just like if you're studying men, you already wrong. You are on the wrong track if your approach is to study men. Here's the thing about they think President Trump has like this magic formula with men. He didn't have a magic formula with men. All he said is, "You're not evil. You're not racist, and you're not existentially wrong for being a man." That's it. And men are like, "Oh, thank you. I appreciate that." And then the other thing he basically said is, "Now I'm going to leave you alone to live your life." And that is actually what guys want. But they don't want to be studied like there's some animal in the wild that nobody's seen before, and what are his movements? And they definitely don't want to be compared to Tim Walz. I'd get rid of that guy right away. If
Look, you're
going
talking
after
about
him.
sincerity.
If they don't get rid of Tim Walz, I heard him say some goofy shit about men and leaving a party. That shit when I was telling y'all about, he said they're getting a hat and a uniform and they're just happy to be over there. Like, who the hell says stuff like that? Who the hell says stuff like that? That's not the reason that people are going to the conservative party or voting for, some people are just, I'm just voting for Trump. But some people actually like the policies and what's going on. Like the lady said in the beginning, they're out of touch. They're out of touch. It's almost as if they don't want to understand why they lost so many men. They just gonna stick to their guns. They just gonna stick to what they know. They don't really care.
President Trump led with sincerity. He knew what was wrong with them, what was wrong in society. He said it and said he was going to make changes. Yeah. You can't fake sincerity, right? And the Democrats are faking sincerity. They want to study. But here's my bigger issue is, why do you need to spend any money? I thought, maybe I'm wrong, the job of a politician is to be for the people. Go out and talk to your constituents. Those are your constituents. Figure out what they want. Actually take the time to address them and figure out what their issues are.
Jasmine Crockett said she wanted a job when she grew up where she didn't have to talk to people.
So let me make sure I'm understanding this correctly. The Democrat Party, they want to spend $20 million to figure out why men are leaving their party in droves. Listen, I didn't even need 20 minutes, let alone $20 million, to tell you that men don't want to be associated with a bunch of folks who think that a bearded man in stilettos is brave and beautiful.
Exactly. They put these people out here, these damn transgenders, these men, like she said, with these beards and this stuff, and they be like, they bring them out on stage, and all these women like, yay! And men are, you got some men who just going along, they just like, but the majority of men are sitting there like, what the hell is this? He gets shine, and I don't get no shine? Y'all don't even talk about real men? Y'all pushing this kind of crap? And then I got kids, and y'all want my kids to see this stuff? There is no way that a real man that wants to support his family is going to go for stuff like that. And that's where I be kind of conflicted, even with people that's in my family, they're Christians and all this stuff, and they see this stuff going on. Yet they still want to vote for the Democrats. And like I say, their reasoning is because Donald Trump said something nasty, or Donald Trump is... I don't like how he talks. He's going to take some away from me. And lo and behold, he doesn't take it away. You just watch too much MSNBC and they got you scared. Joy Reid used to just talk about Nazis. When he got elected, they was sending out text messages to black folks telling us that we was finna get put on a plantation. I got up and went to work the next day. I went to the store, got me something to eat, came home, went to sleep, took a nap. Nothing happened to me. All of this stuff was supposed to happen, never happened. So that's another thing. Democrats, they make you live in fear. They just keep you scared. Oh my God. They're coming after you. They're coming after you. Let me show y'all something. Because I'm thinking about it. I made a short. It was a black lady. Check this out, bro. I wonder if I still look at this, y'all.
Y'all not gonna believe this shit. I just watched Jasmine Crockett. She said that the Republicans voted yesterday to deport United States citizens.
Oh my God.
But anyway, they're ready to deport black men. Be ready, be careful. I've told y'all this was coming. Jasmine Crockett just said it.
Jasmine said it, huh? Okay.
She just said they held a meeting and all the Republicans voted to deport United States citizens.
United States citizens, huh? Okay.
They voted for that shit, okay? I told y'all black men to be careful. I told you they was coming for us. They coming.
No, 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 cause, no.
Y'all not gonna
That's the bullshit. She said we was finna get locked up. They finna deport us. Where they gonna deport us to? Mississippi? Dark says, yeah, right. Why does a heterosexual man have to or need to support a man coming out the closet celebrating his gay truth? Exactly. That shit ain't got nothing to do with us. That shit ain't got nothing to do with us. And they will trot them out. Remember Kamala Harris was dancing with them transgenders and I mean all kind of foolish shit. I'm telling y'all, when men see that shit, we be like, hell no. I'm out. I think a lot of dudes tried to go along with it until they just couldn't do it no more. They like, You had some dudes, a lot of them, which we need to really give them dudes credit, because they didn't even go along with it at all. They was from the beginning. It was like, hell no. I'm out. Been out. Ain't gonna do it. Won't do it. Don't got time for it. Not gonna make time for it. That's what we should have did. We all should have got on board with that. That's what should have happened. Mm-hmm. Let me see what else
Democrat
I got.
Party.
But yeah. What else? Some of the reasons for the shift, young men cite economic struggles, housing costs, job availability as key issues, feeling neither party fully addressed them. Cultural disconnect. Some young men perceive Democrats as overly focused on progressive issues, i.e. feminism, DEI, alienating those who feel marginalized or feel resentful of woke policies. There you go. That's a big one. They were so focused on DEI, feminism, woke, 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 woke. Black Lives Matter. When black folks realized that was some BS, Black Lives Matter was crap. That was a co-opted movement. That was an LGBTQ movement. Didn't have nothing to do with us. All of the people front and center was LGBTQ affiliated. I know every time I seen some Black Lives Matter rallies, they didn't look black to me. All of the woke policies. I'm glad we went to a more merit-based system. You're going to get better results like that. Who's qualified for it? Give them the job. Everybody else can work it out. And once all of those people get it worked out, we'll be in a better place. If you want that position, you need to get you some more merits. You need to raise your skill level. You need to do better. But then again, it's a lot of people that's just, they have a ceiling. Some people are only so smart. There's nothing wrong with that. That doesn't mean that their work should be belittled. Everybody isn't presidential worthy. Everybody isn't manager or worthy to be in leadership. Everybody don't got them kind of skills. Some people are better just working, just hands-on. Some people are better working with a company. Some people are better working independently. You can't just force people in positions where we need another woman. We don't have enough women. Okay, we know that you got all the skills, you qualified, you went to school, but we don't have enough women, so we're going to pick her. She's underqualified. But we got to meet this quota. I'm sorry. Stay making $19.50 an hour. We're going to put her in charge of you. What? Now she telling you what to do and she don't even know half the shit you know. Well, we're going to put him right here because he's black. We don't have enough black people. Another reason it says is loneliness and isolation. 63% of young men 18 to 29 report being single. That's a lot of people. And higher suicide rates and social isolation may drive them toward parties offering a sense of purpose or community. That's just man shit. You got single men when we know you have the urge to be with someone or be partnered up. But you got all these feminists out here that done lost their mind, wreaking havoc on our society. And all they can keep saying, oh, it's just a bunch of sassy men. Y'all need to do better. Y'all need to get more money. Y'all need to man up. So these dudes isolate. They get by themselves. You could probably say that about me. But I actually go out. I'm not like stuck in a house and staring at a TV all day. I don't do that. I like being by myself. But I like doing stuff. I know y'all seen my lives. I go walking. I go to the gym. Last week I took my daughter to Six Flags. But for a lot of men, society has just not treated them fairly. Let's be honest. We talking about good dudes. I ain't talking about slouches. I'm talking about good dudes who take care of business, and they've been getting the bad end of the stick. Oh, yeah. If Pete Buttigieg win the Democratic nomination, it's over with. And they'll be so stupid to let him win it. It'll be artificial, probably. I mean, because who knows how they operate now? How the hell did they get Kamala Harris to be the nominee after they had already had their primary where she lost? They didn't even vote on that shit. They basically forced Joe Biden out. Because remember, he never signed that document that said he was, stepping down or whatever. They just put the letter on TV. And you could tell he really didn't even want to back Kamala Harris. He went out there to that one little rally, put on that Make America Great Again hat. Never really said nothing good about her. Only when they was together and he had to. It was like fake. You could tell he didn't want to do it. It was almost like Scandal. Have y'all ever seen Scandal? It was all fake. Like they set everything up in the back channels. It's like when they got behind scenes, then Joe Biden would be screaming at everybody and cussing at everybody and telling them to leave him alone. Fuck y'all. Y'all fuck me. But then he would go out in public and put on a good face. That's what it felt like to me. It felt like Scandal. It was really like Scandal, though. Because there was no way she should have been the nominee. There's no way. They did not vote for her. They just said, oh, it's going to be Kamala Harris. And she just smiling with that little fake laugh. She locking niggas up, remember, in California, and then got on there and said she smoked weed. You was knocking niggas up for it. Look, man. This lady is something else. What else we got? Implications for Democrats. Well, we already went over. Democrats focus on women's issues. Issues that resonate with young women, but less with young men. And the young men prioritize economic issues. Because men are more rational, like I said, we thinking about the future. We be thinking about what's going to happen to me when I get older. See, women want to have a good time right now. That's why they thinking about reproduction. I don't want to get pregnant. I don't want to do this. I don't want to have a baby right now. I want to be able to go out and have as much sex and go to parties and do all these crazy things that I want to do. I don't care about a family. And then when they get 40, then I want a family. I feel lonely. I want to have kids. It's too late. Well, it's not too late because a lot of women now are starting to have kids in their 40s. That's what studies are showing, or later in life. But it's going to be harder. And the men are thinking about, we need to have money for the future. So when we get older, shoot, we don't have to worry about somebody coming over here wiping our ass or turning us over in the bed. We'll have kids who will look after us. We'll have money to take care of our needs. We'll be able to pay our bills. Oh, yeah, she definitely wasn't doing unscripted interviews. I remember the one interview where she had her running mate up there. The very first one, I think, where she was with that lady, and she had to have Tim Walz by her side. It was sad. It was like, bro, she can't even be up there by herself. She can't even be up there by herself. She should be embarrassed. She had all of these talking points that she used to spew. Remember that? Remember all those BS talking points that she would just repeat over and over? Men saw that like, that's bullshit. We see Trump. Trump would just be up there just talking, just saying shit. They say, why did he say that? That's crazy. Well, you know what? I like it. Because he's just saying shit. He's just talking. He's saying how he really feels. I like it. I'm enjoying this. He's telling people off. I like it. He going off on people. I like it. Why not, dude? Why not sit here and watch him say how he really feels, which is how we all collectively really feel? Kamala Harris had trouble with black male voters, and her father the entire election because her father don't consider himself black. Yeah, that's why he never showed up. That's why he never showed up to nothing, because he knew it. He like, man, I'm not black. We're not black. Stop it. He knew she was full of it. And he knew he didn't want to answer a bunch of questions, because that's what it was going to turn into if he ever showed up. Well, Mr. Harris, how do you feel about your daughter being the first black president? He'd have had to answer all kind of questions. They want to do these interviews with him. He wouldn't have got no rest. All he had to do was go check it out. It wasn't it wasn't like it was a big secret. I know Candace Owens is crazy, but she had a hell of a damn couple of episodes about it where she uncovered a lot of stuff. It made a lot of sense. Nobody ever debunked it. That's what I do remember. Nobody ever came out and said she was lying, because she was pulling receipts on their ass. She was pulling up birth certificates, shipping manifests, all kind of shit, bro. Hell, she even had one interview with one of the women who knew her grandmother, I think. And they said something about her skin tone. They asked her, was she dark? She said, no. Because remember, the grandma was supposedly a dark woman? That lady said, I remember grandma, she was never dark. She said it. She said, no, she wasn't dark. I mean, y'all can go look this stuff up for yourself. I'm not making it up. But look, man, I'm finna get off of here. I'm finna go do something else. And I appreciate y'all coming through. But like I said, the man ain't coming back to the Democratic Party. It's over with for them. They ruined it. They don't even think about black men. They don't care anything about us. It's over with. The statistics have shown that it's been a decline for them with men. It's going down. It's going to continue to go down. It's going to be an uptick for the Republicans as long as they stick to what they're doing. As long as they don't go off the deep end, it's going to keep trending in that same way. But yeah, man, I appreciate everybody coming through. I appreciate y'all watching the show. I appreciate those who subscribe. I think I saw some people subscribe. Appreciate it. Y'all have a good day. I'm going to holler at y'all next time. Peace.